Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of our application. In the last part we had our application working like this. So we're fetching popular, or I think it was top rated movies. So I go here, yeah, top rated movies. So I just want to change this to popular and then run the app again. So these are the popular movies we have so far. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to add a method where we can continue to scroll, and it will continue to scroll further and further into the database and will fetch more and more movies. So for that, what we need is we have to go to our view controller, add a couple of properties. So first we're going to add private var page. It's an integer equal to 1, and we're going to say private var total pages. It's also going to be an int, and we'll set it to 0. Right, so first what we're going to do is in here you're going to pass in the variable page. I will say page is an integer equal to 1. Right, so that's that. So that's page number 1 of our database. Once we get the result, we need to say self dot total pages equal to result, no, equal to data dot total, right, data dot total pages. Is that correct? If you look here on our model, so we have total pages right here. So when we're sending the data back, we want that to be total page. So our total page, extra argument in the call. Yeah, so we'll fix that. Don't worry about this message. We'll fix that. So yeah, we're going to say total pages equal to self dot total page, which is this one. So we're updating the total page that's coming from the database. So let's go to the API class, update this function, because right now it's currently not taking any argument as name paged. So page equal integer, and that's how we're going to do it. So this is an integer. We're going to pass that in, and we'll say and page equal string interpolation, and we'll pass that page number. So whatever that page number is, please go and fetch this page number. So that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many pages that are being returned from the database. All right, so we'll go to our controller. This argument, this error message should go away now. So now our total pages are equal to the total page variable that we have here, to get the reference on that. Now let's create private function load more data, and that takes what we need here is it takes nothing, so that's just a function. We're gonna check if this page number is less than total pages, right? So we're going to increment this number based on however many pages we have returned. So let's say if this is 100 pages of data and we're on page number 1, so we have to keep checking that until we hit 100, we have to load more movies into our database, right? So we're going to check that with an if statement. So if page number, right, is less than total pages, if this is less than the value of this number right here, then what I want this to do, we want to add page plus equal 1. All right, so we're going to increment this page counter by 1, and then we'll say operation. It's an operation q dot add operation, no, dot main dot add operation. So we want the API function to fetch again. So see how it's giving us the method signature is like it takes a page number and it will return the result. So self.page, that's our page number, and the data that's being returned we want that data to be self.movies plus equal data.results. So you would say y plus equal. Well, because if we keep saying equal, it will take the current page and it will populate this. So we'll never have the data that's loaded before the page number 2. So page number 1 data is gone, it's overwritten by page number 2, and so on and so forth. Plus equal keeps the current data and adds whatever we supply on top of that. So that continues to have data updated, and it's like add on. So we're going to say collection view reload data. So this will update this. Now what we need, so this method is pretty much this: if statement, checking, and then calling in. Once this will be false, so if page is no longer less than total page, so this number and this number is equal, it will just not do anything. Now what we need, we want to be able to call the method. So we're going to go, I think it's a data source method, display or will display. Let me see. Yeah, so I think it's the extension. So let's UI collection view delegate. So it's a collection view, and then it's collection view, which is UI collection view, and then it's will display cell, will display it will be cell, and that would be UI collection view cell. For item, add index path, UI index path. No, it's just the index path. Index path is index path. Now it returns nothing. There is no return from this function. So this is just a delegate method. So that's the signature. Collection view, UI collection view, will display cell, UI collection view cell for item at index path. Index path. So we need to check what index path we're at right now. So we're going to say if index path dot item is equal to movies dot count minus 1, right? Okay, so since our movie, we can say guard let count equal movies dot count, else fatal error. So we're going to just unwrap the count because this is an optional. So we'll say count -1. So whatever the total count is, -1, which is the last item. If it is on the last item, the currently whatever we're displaying on the screen, if that's the last cell, then go ahead and load more data. Only if it's a last item, right? So we'll go to storyboard, make sure our collection view is also hooked up as a delegate. So see this right here. So data source, we're hooked up. Delegate, we want this to be our delegate as well. And now this is happy because now it knows this is the delegate. So in the perfect world, if I run this now, what should happen is it will, let me look at this. So when I scroll, this will give me more and more data, and I should be able to get to the last page as long as I'm less than the last page. Once I reach that, it should be all right. So movie is an optional, must be, yeah. It is an optional, so we don't want to force unwrap this. So movies is an optional, so we'll keep it as an option. So now we have our first page. This is the first page, right? So if I scroll up and when I hit the last cell, it will load more data. As you can see, if I continue to scroll, it's keep going, it's not stopping. So I have the data is being loaded as I scroll up. So it's going to go all the way to the last page on this API. If it's 100 pages of data, it's going to load all of 100 pages. See, it's not, it's called the, okay, so here we go. It did stop at one point. And what's the reason? Unable to parse data in JSON. Okay, so here's what happened. Some of the data that's coming back at the later stage, which we are right here right now, it's not happy with the results that we have here. So some data might be optional, which means not necessarily everything that we see here is part of the returned data. So when that happens, it will break. It's not going to work. So some of the things in the movie, we can make it optional. So I'll say, hey, maybe there is no movie ID, so I'm going to make that optional. Maybe there is no title. Maybe there is no poster path. Maybe there is no backdrop path. Maybe some of the movies don't have any average voting or rating. Maybe some of the movies don't have the story plot or overview. Maybe some of the movies don't have any release date data associated to it. Maybe some of the movies don't have a vote count on that. When that happens, make these things optional. So now what happens, everything is going to break, and we'll have to fix this because now this is all optional. So we have to obviously unwrap it, right? So poster path is optional. In this case, I'm going to have to do string interpolation like such. So I'm going to say if my movie poster path is optional, unwrap it. Otherwise, just make it a simple empty string. So the message that we have, error message, will go away. Now, if we scroll, and I remember it was Lord of the Rings where it stopped. So when we get there, we'll see if we are able to go further. Because that's where one of the movies that was being returned had some optional value, and right here, this is the movie, and this is where it break. You see, it did not stop now. So Lord of the Rings were the last, and this Birdman, and then El Camino where it stopped. So right, it's going, it's not stopping anymore. It's keep going. If I go fast, it's going to take a little bit while of uploading it. But if I go slow, you cannot, you can't tell if there's any delay. But if I go fast, you can see there is a delay right here. See this? Let's keep loading. I'm going to keep scrolling up. So that's the continuous scroll that we have in this episode. What we did here today is I'll show you. So we go to popular movies VC. We added these two variables, page and total page. We're calling our API and we're saying self.totalPages, which is this variable, make this equal to the data.totalPages. Whatever the data was result in total pages on that data, which is right here. If I look at the model, this variable gives me the total pages right here, right? If that's the case, just assign it to this, right? And then load more data. This method will check if my page number, which is this, less than the total page. So the total page is 0. I assigned a 0 to it. If the total pages are 0, it's only one page, then we already have page number 1, so we don't have to worry about it, right? Then this will just never be less than this, because if this is 1 and this is 1, they're both 1. 1 is not less than 1, right? But if this is 1 and this happens to be whatever, 10, 15, 20, 40, 50, 100, 1,000, whatever number, then obviously 1 is less than the greater number. And it will continue to add one more to that. Run the API again one more time. And when we hit the last page in our movie data, which is right here, movies, if this is the last item, if this is the last movie on the screen, I will go ahead and run the data again. If nothing is returned, then it will be nothing. It will just, this will never fire up, because this whole if statement will be false and nothing will happen. We'll still see that last movie on the screen. But if this becomes true, it will fire up this operation and it will update my movies and it will continue to scroll even further. So that's it for today. I will upload more videos on this one. I'm still working on it. I just didn't have the time to do faster. But keep your support coming. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything that you want to know. As always, subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you.